welcome back to another part of the video. So we have been discussing till now about the invertebrate series, in which the first part was regarding the basic introduction of the invertebrates, then the second part was regarding porifera, third was regarding coelentrates, and to the fourth part we are going to discuss about another phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. And if you have not watched the previous videos regarding invertebrate from the very first beginning or from the basic, do watch it. So for the clear understanding. Now in this video we are going to discuss about Platyhelminthes. What are Platyhelminthes all about? Platyhelminthes are known as flatworms. Let's begin. Platyhelminthes are the flatworms, and you can see here in this diagram that they are flat in structure, that is they are dorso-ventrally flattened. So they are dorso-ventrally flattened. What do you mean by dorso-ventrally flattened? That is from the dorsal, that is from this back side is known as the dorsal side, and the front part is known as the ventral side. So the dorsal and the ventral part is flat, so it looks like a leaf like structure. You can say these are dorso-ventrally flattened. And you can see here in this diagram also they are the basically, that is why they are known as the flatworms. Why they are flatworms? Now is the answer. And what is the habitat or what is the feature of this Platyhelminthes? That they usually live free living, that is without undergoing parasitic mode of life. And free living means that they will live freely in the environment without depending upon other for their livelihood. Second, they can be parasitic, otherwise commensal. Commensal and parasitic more or less have similar meaning. That is, commensalism means that they depend upon other for their living, and parasitism, they live on the body of certain organism, that is usually man, for their food, and they cause different types of parasitic disease also, which we will be discussing in our next part. Then they are bilaterally symmetrical. If we cut them from the middle, then they will be divided into two equal parts. So they are the bilateral symmetrical. Already I have discussed in the first part of the invertebrate what are bilaterally symmetrical means. Then they are triploblastic, that is endoderm, mesoderm and ectoderm are already present. And one feature, that is one exclusive feature of these phylum, is that they have adhesive structure. What do you mean by adhesive? That will be glued as they undergo parasitic mode of life. So in order to live inside the body of the host, they need to have certain structure which will get attached to the body of the host, isn't it? For that purpose they need to have certain modification in their body, so that they do not get easily washed away from our body by our fluids. So certain fluids or digestive enzyme, certain chemicals are present, certain enzymes are present in our body. If they do not have certain structure which help them to attach to our body, then they will be easily moved passed from our excretory system. For that, what did they do? They have certain structures, modified structure, which are known as the adhesive structure. What are the adhesive structure? They belong to sucker, that they will basically attach like a glue in the mouth region. Here it is not visible, but in the mouth region they will be having hooks for holding the intestinal wall of the human intestinal wall. So for hooks, spines are certain adhesive, and suckers are certain adhesive structures which help them to get attached in the body of the host. So this is all, this feature, this adhesive structure feature is mainly only found in case of those worm or Platyhelminthes group which undergoes parasitic mode of life. They will not be seen in those which undergoes free living. This is important feature to be noted down. And they are acoelomate, that is coelom is absent, and the nervous system is ladder like. And one important point which is asked mostly in exam, that about the excretory system, that the excretory system is protonephridia type, that is primitive type. And what is the excretory system called? They are called flame cells. This is important question and it is asked numerous times in the exam. And they show cross fertilization as well as internal fertilization. And cross fertilization is mainly seen by the trematodes, and internal fertilization is seen by the cistors. And one important feature regarding this phylum is that they shows parthenogenesis, that without fertilization embryo is also formed, parthenogenesis, and polyembryo is also seen, and they have single opening which acts as mouth and anus. This is also an interesting feature regarding this phylum, is that they have single opening that acts both as an excretory as well as ingestion organs, from that is mouth and anus are present as a single opening. This is one of the interesting feature regarding this phylum. Moving to the classification, they are broadly classified, or you can say they have three classes, that is Turbularia, which is example is Planaria. You can see this is the example Planaria. Trematoda, which is common example is Fasciola hepatica, that is ship liver fluke. Why it is called ship liver fluke? Because they mainly, this type of fluke mainly attacks the ship. Then Cistora, that is example is tapeworm. Tapeworm are Taenia solium, Taenia saginata, that is tapeworm, pokeworm, and that is beef tapeworm. We will discuss later on. So these are the three classification which are seen under the phylum, that is Platyhelminthes. What now we will discuss each one them in detail. What is Turbularia? Class belong to the free living category. So I have already told you that the Platyhelminthes can be free living or parasitic. So this Turbularia class are belong to the free living type, that they do not depend upon the host body for their living. And one of the no doubt as they belong to free living, but sometimes they have suckers and hookers also present. Sometimes this is the rare features you can say, that is it is a rare feature. Okay. Usually free living creatures do not have these adhesive organs, but rarely it is seen in this Turbularia class. Then sense organs present, and example is Planaria and Dagacia. This is the Dagacia and Planaria I have already shown you in this class. Next, moving to the next class, that is Trematoda, they shows the parasitic mode of life. What parasitic is again of two types, that is endo, inside the body, ecto, outside the body of the host. If they undergo parasitism by living externally on the body of the host, is known as ectoparasite. If they live inside the body of the host and undergoes this parasitism, that is known as the endoparasite. And obviously the suckers and hooks will be present as they are parasitic mode of life. And direct development, what do you mean by development, are of two types, that is direct, indirect. Direct means directly they will form the young one. Indirect means that will be larval stage will be present. Okay. So direct development is seen in case of ectoparasite as they live outside the body of the host, but indirect development, that is many larval stages will be seen, that is in the example is Fasciola hepatica. Fasciola hepatica belongs to this category as you have seen. So Fasciola hepatica belongs to different larval stages which we will be discussing in the later part of the video, that is Miracidium larva, Radii larva, different forms of larva will be seen in the indirect development, that is endoparasite. Then one important feature is the Mehli's gland, which is present for the lubrication of the oviduct, which is seen in case of the Fasciola hepatica, as well as L'Oreal's canal is also seen in Fasciola. When we will be discussing about Fasciola hepatica in detail, we will be discussing about them. Then these are the examples of Trematoda, and Fasciola has digenetic host. What is digenetic host? That is those those organisms which complete their life cycle within the body of two hosts is known as digenetic organism or digenetic host, that they have two hosts. So they are known as the digenetic host. One is in the sheep, another one is in the man. So that's why they are known as the digenetic host. Next, moving to the last classification is the Cistora. So Cistora also belongs to the parasitic form. Example is Taenia, I have already told you. Example is tapeworm. The tapeworm belongs to Taenia solium and Taenia saginata. They mainly are the endoparasitic in nature, that is exclusively they are endoparasite, and it is also known that they live inside the intestine of the vertebrate. So specifically they live inside the body of the host, where in the intestinal region. And you can see here that body is divided into different segments. Each segment is known as the proglotid region, and adhesive structure obviously will be present as they are parasitic mode of life. These are the three classification of the phylum Platyhelminthes. Then certain extra things regarding this phylum is that cystoma is known as blood flukes. What is cystoma? You must be wondering. So, cystoma are the example of the Trematoda class, that is fasciola, ophistricus and cystoma are the examples of the Trematoda, and there are certain common example regard the common names regarding this, that is cystoma is known as blood fluke, ophistrachus is known as fluke parasite, and fasciola hepatica, which is common, is known as liver fluke. This is the common feature, common name of fasciola hepatica. We will be discussing it in the detail in the later part of the video or in the next upcoming videos. And I have already told you that Taenia solium is known as pork tapeworm. Why it is called pork tapeworm? If the primary host is the man and secondary host is pig, pig is known as pork, flesh is known as pork. So, that is why if the primary host is man and secondary host is pig, then this then the parasite which is responsible or the class which is responsible is Taenia solium. And if beef tapeworm, that is Taenia saginata, if cattle is the secondary host and man is the primary host, then the parasite which attacks it is known as the Taenia saginata. This is the difference between pork tapeworm and the beef tapeworm, which is usually asked in exam point of view. And this cycle will be discussing when will be discussed in the later part of the video, when we will be discussing each, that is life cycle of the fasciola hepatica, life cycle of Taenia solium, and these are two important life cycles of and what they really do. So, this is all about the Platyhelminthes, and if you have any doubt regarding this chapter, this video, you can comment, and if you have not watched the previous video, do watch it and give comments under it and give suggestion also. If I have any any problem regarding the video, you can give suggestion also regarding that. And I have also made physiology series, that is digestive system, evolutionary biology, and I am recently I am doing, that is invertebrate series, which will be continuing till we finish all the phylum, because these are very important regarding exam point of view. And many times I have seen that phylum, that is the invertebrates, are asked, not only invertebrate, vertebrates also. We will be doing a series in regarding vertebrates also. These two are very important regarding entrance point of view, whether it is MSc or any competitive exam regarding to zoology. So, with this I end this video, and do like, comment and share among your friends, and if you are new to my channel, do subscribe it. Thank you.